everybody, it's Judy Klock here at Stampin' with Crafty Klock, coming to you tonight for another little tutorial with our Christmas in July theme. So Tuesday, for my lesson at lunch, I came on and I started to show you the really pretty So Very Merry. This is one of our online exclusives. It proved to be so popular that it is currently out of stock. It will be back in stock on July 31st, but I used it to make what I called a stained glass card. I did a little heat embossing on vellum. Let me just pull this over so you can see this a little bit better. You don't need to see me. I did a little heat embossing on vellum, and we colored it with our blends, and we have the little cutouts so that it really looks like, hopefully, some stained glass. But I really only got to show you one or two of the stamps, and there's so many other pretty stamps in here that tonight we're going to do two more cards with this set. Our first card will be our simple stamping card. We're going to use just one of the stamps. We're going to create this really sweet and simple card with the gingerbread house. We are going to do a little bit of coloring with a blending pen and some of our inks to get a little bit of color on that, but it's really something that's very easy that anyone can do. No special skill needed. And then we're going to do a fun fold. I love this fun fold, the triple point fun fold. And we're just going to color Santa. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I hope you like these projects. Leave me a comment. Let me know, where you're watching from, what you think of the cards, and, what you like best about Stampin' Up. I like to know what everybody's thinking. All right, so for this card, I'm going to pull in my Stampin' Pierce mat because these are photopolymers. I'm going to put it underneath my paper so I don't get ink on it. Now this one I thought was cute. There's this little mistletoe stamp. So I thought, well, let's have some fun and let's stamp some mistletoe on the inside of the card and see if anybody gets a kiss out of it. Who knows? So I'm just going to put this up here in the upper left corner. And then I wanted to do it in garden green. Now I'm going to leave the berries white because I do believe that mistletoe berries are white. But I wanted to come up here and I wanted to color this, but I did not have a Stampin' Blends in garden green. So I'm just going to use my Stampin' Right marker. I'm just going to add just a little bit of color to these leaves. Okay, it's not going to take very long to color these in. Kind of goes over some of those black lines, but that's okay. I'm not really going to take care to color in each of the little sections right now. So the black lines will be very faint, but that's all right. Doesn't really matter too much. Okay, so that's just an optional way to dress up the inside. You don't have to do that. I just wanted to have a little bit of fun with this. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this to the inside of our card. I am using pecan pie for the card base. It's a standard A2, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. My basic white layer is 4 by 5 1/4. Now I wanted to do something on the front. So there was this little stamp that said, "Oh, what fun." And we are just going to stamp that in pecan pie, just kind of all over the front. And there's really no rhyme or reason to how I'm doing this. I am just going to start with some straight lines, and we'll see they're not going to be very straight. Okay, I'm going to kind of alter it here so they're not all lined up. Okay, we can start over there. And again, we're just going to do that. Now, a lot of these will be covered up. That's okay. Start over there. And then we'll just keep coming down until we go all the way down the card. And this is just a really good way to sometimes just add some interest to your cover if you don't want to use a lot of layers, or if you don't want to do like heat embossing or dry embossing. This is just a great way to add some interest to the front of your card. All right, that is it. Now we've got a piece of sweet sorbet. I had to think for a minute. Sweet sorbet. This is a 3-inch square, and we're going to stamp our gingerbread house on this. It's 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. And I'm going to stamp this in our Memento black ink because we want to color that. So Memento is better for coloring. Make sure I get some good ink on there. We don't want it to look too janky. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to take my pecan pie again, and we're going to use this for a little bit. So I'm going to actually stamp Very Merry right over the top of our little gingerbread house. Now, you'll notice I kind of have a pool of the ink right there, and I've got a blender pen. I'm going to dip it in. I'm going to pick up a little bit of the ink, and I'm going to start coloring my gingerbread house. Now, you'll see that this picks up the color, right? And you can just keep coloring it. The more you color, the lighter the ink will get. So it just kind of lends itself to some natural shading. Just dip it in there, get more ink. Okay, so that's perfect. I'm not going to color the whole house because I want to show you. So now let's go pick another color. We're going to clear off the tip of our pen. And to clear it off, we're just going to wipe it on our scrap paper until no more color comes off. Now let's go with our sweet sorbet. Okay, and again, I've got a pool of sweet sorbet in the cover, and I'm just going to, again, pick up some of that ink, and I'm going to color some of our candy canes. Pick it up more, and just add that color to make it look like a candy cane. All right, let's change colors again. I want to show you how easy it is to change colors. Let's change colors. Let's go with some garden green for our gumdrops. Again, little pool of ink up there, and I just stuck my hand on the ink pad. Okay, adding some color down here to the gumdrops. Okay, clean off my pen. Let's come up here with some yellow. Going to make it look like the light is on. Okay, going to add some yellow here. Is this Daffodil Delight or Crush? Did I pick Daffodil Delight or Crushed Curry? Daffodil Delight. Okay. And then I've got some petal pink. We're going to do those roof tiles in petal pink. Again, just clean off the tip. Pick up some more ink and just go ahead and continue coloring. And we do that all the way down, and we'd color this whole image. And when we're done, this is what we end up with. Okay, so it's very easy to color for a beginner using our blender pens and just your inks. You don't need anything special. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere this. I made a little mistake on this one. So paper has two sides. Don't be afraid to flip it over and start again. All right, we're going to layer this up. Okay, that looks like it's very crooked, but it's on there now. So we're going to add this with our Stampin' Dimensionals right to the front of our card. Okay, so very easy little card, very quick, nothing too fancy. This is really just stamps, inks, and paper. We just got a little fancy using that blender pen, but again, all straight cuts, so really nothing that someone who is new to stamping or doesn't have a lot of supplies can't do. The blender pens come in a 3-pack, so it's great, and they last a very long time. Now, if you want, you can go ahead and add some bling. I've got some rhinestones here because who doesn't like bling? Now, if you have Stampin' Blends, you can go ahead and color these any color you want to match your project. I am just going to leave these as plain rhinestones. Okay, and that is our first card. So I'm so glad that you're here. If you're here, give me a shout out, say hello, leave me a comment, a thumbs up, something, anything. And I would be so appreciative if you have not yet subscribed. if you would subscribe to my channel and make sure to click that little bell icon down at the bottom so that you can be notified when I upload new content. All right, now we're going to do this fun fold. So this was a standard A2 card, but we need to do some cutting. So let me just move this out of the way for half a minute. Put our little half-done cottage up there. I'm going to pull in my paper. Well, actually, I need this for 1 minute. I forgot. We got to do a little bit of measuring. So you'll notice along our grid paper, we have the ruler. So I'm going to make 2 little marks. I've got our standard 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock. And I want to make just a little tiny mark, which I don't know where my pen went to. Of course, I had it here all night. And now that I need it, my pen has left the building. All right, we've got our little garden green marker. I am going to put a little mark at 2 3/4. That is right the half of this 5.5 inch width. All right, we're going to use that to cut. I'm going to do the same thing with our designer series paper. This is 5 1/4 by 4. So we want to put a little mark at 2 5/8. Okay, I can't really see that. Okay, 2 5/8. All right, now, couldn't find my cap. Now we are ready to do some trimming. All right, so we need to cut these on an angle. So I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and I am going to put it so the top corner where the fold is in one portion of the cutting track, and I'm going to move it so that little tick mark we just made is in the other portion of the cutting track. And then we are just going to slice that off. So we're going to rotate it. We're going to do the same thing. Now we're going to put that tip where we have that little tick mark in the cutting track, and we're going to put the opposite corner by the fold up in the cutting track. And we're going to slice. All right. We're going to do the same thing for our designer series paper. So I have my little tick mark right there. Kind of hard to see, but I'm going to put the other edge of the designer series paper in the cutting track, and we're going to cut. That's not in. My blade fell out. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to flip it so that the tick mark is still in the cutting track and the other upper corner is in the cutting track. And we're going to slice. Okay. All right. Let's get ready to assemble our card. So the first thing I'm going to do is I am going to stamp "'Tis the Season to Be Jolly" on the inside. And I'm just going to do this in Memento Black. You could do it in shaded spruce. That's what my card base is. My card base is shaded spruce. Okay. "'Tis the season to be jolly." All right. Got that. We're good. All right. So let's go ahead and just add this to the inside of our card, and this way we can be done and go for the outside. This is going to be such a, I love fun folds when they make you smile. They just make you smile. That's what I love. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add this piece here. Make sure you have it going the right way. There we go. We're going to put this piece right there. And I'm going to use a little liquid glue for this, just because that gives me a little bit of room to kind of play with it and maneuver it into place. And I am using just the Regal's Designer Series paper, the 6x6 Designer Series paper. So just keeping everything kind of simple tonight. And that sheet of Designer Series paper was 4 by 5 1/4. All right, so let's go ahead and lay this down. That's why I wanted to do that. All right, so now we've got this on there. That gives me just a little bit of room to kind of maneuver it. And I got a little bit of extra glue on there. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing on each of our corner pieces. We're going to add our designer series paper to the 2 triangles that we cut off. This is going to be so pretty. It's such a great fun fold. You're not really wasting any paper because you're using everything. You are just cutting it off and reassembling it in a new way. And I will have a corresponding blog post up probably sometime tomorrow with all the dimensions and all the products that I used. So if you want it, and I'll link the blog post in the description tomorrow. I kind of do things backwards. I do the video first and then I do the blog post and then go back. I'm just not organized enough to do the cards, make the blog post, and then do the video. And actually, I didn't have any time really to do the cards today. My husband had hip replacement surgery on Tuesday, and he's home now, thankfully, and it went well, and he's going to be fine. But it just he can't really do anything, so I've really got to, be there to help him. So I didn't really have a lot of time to prepare tonight, not as much as I normally would. Now we're going to take these, and we're going to place these so that kind of the edges touch. So we want the top edge to touch the top of the card, and the 2 other edges, one to touch the side and one to touch the bottom. So once we have that, we can sort of go ahead. I'm going to add a little bit of glue up here, kind of marked where my glue goes. Okay. All right. And now I'm going to go ahead and kind of make sure I've got this. And like I said, the liquid glue definitely gives you that little bit of extra time to play with it and make sure you've got all your edges just where you want them. Okay. There we go. And we're going to do the same thing, obviously, on the other side. Okay, so go ahead and decide where you want it, where it looks good. And then we're going to add some glue. And we're going to put this here. Okay, making sure that we are even with the edges. All right. That should give you your 3 points, right? How fun is that? Now let's go ahead. We're going to stamp our Santa, our little mosaic Santa. Okay, and again, I'm using Memento Black for this. Okay, got him. I'm going to punch him out with the 2 3/8 of an inch circle punch. All right, just eyeball it. There we go. And then we're going to color him with our Stampin' blends. So I'm going to color his hat, right? And I'm not going to color the whole thing here tonight. I just want to show you how easy. I love blends because they just go on so smoothly. If you haven't tried them, I would encourage you to do so. It's very easy to use them. Just be very light with them. I just need a little bit of a light touch. Okay, I feel like this is a shoulder pad from, like, I don't know, Dynasty back in like the 80s. I don't know why. It just reminds me of that for some strange reason. Okay, now my Santa wore gloves, so I colored in like his thumb and his little hand here like a mitten. Some people have left it blank, like colored it like neutral, like his his face and stuff. I've got here ivory for the skin tone. I wasn't sure if I liked this. I don't know if like maybe petal pink, because this kind of looks kind of yellow to me. Maybe petal pink would be a little bit better because I think Santa should be like rosy cheeked. That's just me. And then I'm going to color his sack with our light smoky slate. Again, you can do whatever color you want. And then I filled in the background, I did them in balmy blue. So, and I'm wondering now, if after I did that, I was wondering, I bet you if I did starry sky, it might almost look like he was getting ready to go out on his like nighttime ride. So I might try the next one with starry sky. But I would go ahead and I would continue to color that until it looked like this. And then I would go ahead and add it to my card front with my dimensionals, which once again, I have managed to lose. Here they are. And they were just sitting underneath my grid paper. But love my grid paper. Not only protects my desk, but it protects my Stampin' Pierce mat. And what do you know? That's stuck to my finger. Okay. So we're going to add him. Now, I wanted to add some bling, but I wanted red bling to keep with the red and green theme. So I'm going to go back to my rhinestones, but I'm going to color these with my Stampin' blends. So I'm going to color a big one, a medium one, and a little one. Okay, how great is that? So if you've got basic rhinestone jewels and you've got Stampin' blends, you've got any color of embellishment that you need. All right, let's go ahead and add our colored rhinestones to our project. One there, and maybe one there, and we'll add the little one. Oop, that doesn't want to get picked up. I'm out of my putty end, which is why I'm trying to pick these up like this. And we'll put the little one up there. And that is our triple point fun fold card. I hope you like it. I had a lot of fun doing it. It just kind of made me smile. And again, a very simple stamping card. Not a lot to it. And we learned how to use our Stampin' blends to pick up ink that you can get just in the cover of our ink pads. So we used a little bit of ink there and just kind of dipped that in, and we were able to color our little gingerbread house. So that's it for me tonight. I hope you enjoyed this. Have a great weekend. I hope you enjoy it, whatever you're going to do. And I will see you here next week. That's it, everybody. Bye now.